This is simply about networking protocols, and today I'll talk to you about port role selection in spanning tree topology. This video will display and explain it from simplified, let's say, perspective that allows you to calculate by yourself quickly expected port role in your topology and how it will be distributed between all ports in the topology that you have. In order to verify that topology built correctly, that device working correctly in general, and so on. But if you are a developer or test engineer for developing spanning tree protocols or something related to those spanning tree protocols, you have to go to the standards and follow all state machines that are described there, and to verify that state machines working as expected where it's possible. So let's go. The main claim that, just to remind, you already know, but anyways, each new device in the topology treats itself as a root device, and all its ports that have spanning tree enabled as designated ports, period. If you enable topology by power enable simultaneously, or if you add a new device into the established topology or not established topology, doesn't matter. All devices that come up with spanning tree treat themselves as root, and all their ports that's supposed to participate in spanning tree as designated. Then, after exchanging information with neighbors, those roles can be modified. Let's see how. Simple topology. Top switch, bottom switch connected with one link that has important values. Root priority, root MAC, root path cost, bridge priority, bridge MAC. Bridge priority, bridge MAC is identifier of this particular device. Root priority, root MAC, because this device treats itself as a root. It copies bridge information into root. Okay? To simplify, those are not real numbers. Real numbers you will see in the standard. Those standards provides boundaries in which those numbers supposed to be. Anyways, just to display how this calculation happens. Root priority 1, root MAC all ones, because bridge priority 1, bridge MAC all ones. Root path cost 0, because it treats itself as a root, 0, period. Bottom switch, the same, only bridge MAC is all 2s, and this information is copied to root. Again, bottom switch treats itself as a root path cost is 0. All this information is related to BPDU structure that, again, you will find in those standards. Root priority, root MAC is root identifier, root path cost. Bridge priority, bridge MAC is bridge identifier, and port identifier is port ID and port priority, and they are added to BPDU depending on port that this BPDU is being sent from. Let's check. So from top switch is sent BPDU with information plus port information, port priority, port ID. Please take into consideration that for some vendors, port ID and port number can be not the same. In this case, you're supposed to have ability to see separately port numbers, port IDs. Let's go further. Bottom switch, because it treats itself as a root, also sends BPDUs with information about itself as a root. And we comparing those, let's call it priority vector as in standard, on both ports. Okay? By the way, port priority 1, port ID 1 because port ID 1, and here port ID 1 because port ID 1. Let's go. We are comparing those as per standard priority vectors, and field by field or value by value. Root priorities equal ones, root max not equal. This root mark is less, and as you remember from previous videos, the less number, the better, the higher priority. We have a winner. This winner tells us what? For top device, winner is actual information that was sent from our port. So top device knows for sure that it remains root. Its root information has higher priority. He's the boss. Bottom switch agrees with that. So bottom switch understand that its root information is not the best one, and it accepts root priority root mark from the BPDU plus calculates root path cost as path cost, root path cost from the BPDU plus port path cost on the port that were received. I will display it in more details later because this is important. For now, some number, let's say root path cost 2. So this is not root device, and cost of data to reach root is 2. Those are compatible values as well. The actual priority vector that we received from the root is remembered on the port, and this priority vector will be used to control that information from the root is continuously the same. In case new root will be elected and this information will come here, we will have to recalculate information about topology on this device, so on and so forth. Of course, this port will, in spanning tree, will react to much wider set of actions that could happen in the topology, but right now we're talking about roles, and this is about roles. Go on. On non-root device, we have only one port. This port automatically is the root, and on root device, port remains designated as it was from the beginning. Remember what I told you. Just to remind, only designated ports send periodic BPDUs with this information. So this in case something happens to this device and topology will be recalculated somewhere behind it, we will receive this information, compare with vector that we remember here, and will react. Let's complicate a little bit. 2 ports topology. Same, they started with both treating themselves as root, all those things. We already know that on this pair of the ports, top switch will be selected as root. It means in this topology, it also will be selected as a root, so on and so forth. Let's skip this part. Again, bottom switch applied top as a root and calculated necessary path cost. Designated port on the root continuous sending priority vectors. You see they differs because from port 3 to general BPDU was general BPDU information was added port identifier that sends it priority 1 ID 3. Those are designated. On the bottom we remembered 2 priority vectors on 2 different ports, and you wouldn't believe it, compare them. We comparing them from top to the bottom field by field, and they differ only by port ID. Again, we have a winner, and this winner told us that port number 1 that receives best priority vector is a root port. Other port automatically is blocked, and for xSTP, MSTP it is also alternate. Just to remind, alternate port is a block port that when something happens to the root, it becomes root, omitting all the or almost all the states of state machine. Like almost immediately goes to forwarding. Why this is important, you will see when you go to the standards and check the state machines, actual state machines. And let's complicate again. 3 devices topology, starting from the scratch. All 3 switches treating themselves as a root. They copied bridge information into root information because they treating themselves as a root. All their ports are designated ports, so they start sending BPDUs with device information plus port identifiers added to each priority vector. We already know, and let's skip it. Long explanation why port with MAC all once will become root or remain root, let's say, of the topology. Bottom and right switches applied that this one is root, applied those information, calculated root path cost. For example, for this example, they are equal. And since we have 2 ports where information was changed, they trying to exchange this updated information to each other because, you know, this is important. Here nothing changed. Here all 3 ports remember those vectors. Nothing happened on the root. Those vectors are the stable operations as usual. And we remember it. So those 2 ports with IDs 2, exchanging information, both of them sending same root information, both of them have same root path cost, but different bridge identifiers. Bridge with lower MAC is better, higher priority. This information remembered on the most right switch. And we have this topology where all the ports from which errors are drawn are designated ports, and all other ports needs to be selected root or alternate or blocked. I'm sorry. For the bottom, basically you see that this is the same situation we were in previous 2 ports topology. So let's skip long calculations, root, blocked, alternate. On the most right, we have situation where 2 ports are potentially roots. And we're doing the same. We are comparing those priority vectors that are remembered, that are received from the neighbors. Those priority vectors from the root device we received with path cost 0, from the non-root we received with path cost that was calculated on this device. That's important, so we are going and comparing values field by field, and root path cost 0 less than 2, 0 is better. We have a best priority vector of those 2. This best priority vector on the port 1, it becomes root, and another candidate becomes blocked, alternate in our case. So pretty simple, pretty straightforward. You first finding root, building all the topology, finding which device, which ports on which devices remain designated, and then selecting which non-designated ports become root and blocked. Now let's talk about root path cost. In this case, I displayed it as numbers for demonstration, but in spanning tree standard, it is defined that, so again, root path cost on non-root device calculated as root path cost received in BPDU on the root port plus port path cost on the root port. Port path cost, this is depends on the maximum reachable line rate on this port. Starting from xSTP, there is a formula that allows to calculate necessary port path cost based on the link speed. Because for XTP it was defined specific numbers, and those numbers stop working after, I don't remember, 50 gigabits, something like that. So now we have a formula up to 10 terabits. Wonderful. And how this is influencing port roles. Let's check on example. This, first of all, please remember, 100 gigabits, 200 recommended value, 10 gigabits, 2000 recommended value. Let's see here. We have a topology where part of device is connected with 100 gigabit up to the bottom on the right and 10 gigabit directly to the right. For demonstration purposes, I'm claiming this one as a root. Its root path cost is 0 because it's a root. Again, 100 gigabits recommended value 200, port path cost 10 gigabit 2000. Let's go. BPDU sent from the root here with root path cost 0. Recommended port path cost for the 100 is 200. Here root path cost will be 200. Same, here it goes. BPDU goes with 200. Here's additional 200. Here is 400. On next 600, and from the bottom 100 gigabits 800. So root path cost for traffic that will be sent through the 100 gigabit port on the most right device is 800. And 10 gigabit recommended value is 2000. It means that you define for yourself. Let me say it like that. In same period of time, we can transfer much more information through the path with lower path cost. And we're supposed to select it. And this what happens. Port with lower path cost per formula that I provided here. It will go root priority same, root max same, port path cost, bam. Why it is important? Here and here, priority root ID will be the same. The next value, the second value after root identifier is path cost because it's most important. Just please remember that. This is very important, but pretty simple. This is how simple it is. Thank you. Have a great day.